Hey, everybody.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to this week's special edition of Drive Facebook Live. I'm your host for another 30 minutes, Bob Spitz, with my partner Tony Whistler. And look at this crowd here. Holy cow. What the heck is going on, Tony? We usually just have, one shop owner as our special guest. We got a lot of special guests today,
Well, let
don't
me
we?
see if I can explain to everybody. We generally like to have themed shows, and this theme show is our good friend Bob Spitz is retiring, and we wanted to get as many of the great Drive Facebook Live alumni to come on and talk about you, Bob. So this is your life, Bob, which is an old
Holy cow.
reference.
Oh.
So what happened? You couldn't get those guys?
Yeah, exactly. We had to settle for you. We had to settle for you folks. No, you guys are great, and we wanted to make sure they were all here because they all love you, and they all wanted to talk about you, talk to you, and tell people how you truly are. No, positive. So, I'd like to go around the room. We'll be quick because I want to make sure everybody gets a shot. So
A shot at me. Should I have
That's right.
my helmet?
Exactly. So we have Dave Bloom with us, Mike Button, Deanna Cole, Mark Bagg, Lucia Bagg, David Goldsmith, Kevin Reichelt, Wade Lennon, Debbie and Dave Jenner John, Adam Jadovitz made it in at the last minute. And we have our good friend David Saline, because David Saline is the vice president of sales and services here at Drive. He also was a Drive client. He's been on Drive Facebook Live as a guest many times, but also he's part of the beloved Drive Facebook Live family because he used to host the show with Bob, I think, at one point.
Yeah, well, we started in Studio B downstairs in the Monrovia building.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he is a host as well, has been, and he also hosted the show with Chris Scully as well. So that's it. I think I got everybody. Is there anybody I missed?
Missed you.
Me, and of course me. I'm Tony Whistler, and I've been working with Bob since 2017. I'll tell my quick little story. When I met him, he was working in curriculum, which is where he's at now, and he is just a scholar. So I like to come up with goofy names for my friends, and so I named him the Oracle. And but I couldn't get it to stick, and I think I still call him the Oracle because he is, and I love him. So what I'd like to do is go around the room and let's have some people chat it up. Mike Button, you have anything to say to Bob?
Yeah, first of all, Bob, I'd love to really thank you for everything you've done for me over these years. As much as I wanted to come on and just roast you, I'm gonna leave that up to Kevin and David. They're so much better at it. They're from the side of the country you're from, so
Well, I had to get my fellow New Yorkers here and New Englanders. See, Kevin Reichel, he's in Connecticut, which is kind of like, well,
kind of
it's
stuck
New
between a
York
rock
life.
and a hard place.
the poor season, the poor cousin of New York, So
Yeah.
It's New York life.
Not New Canyon, though.
Good point.
Listen, you Long Islanders tried to move as far out of the New York State as you can. You ended up there, right underneath.
Everybody look away. But
the
Kevin.
armpit of England. Yeah, you're right. You're right here. Cape Cod's here. Yeah, I know where you guys are at.
oh, this can go on for
Remember,
hours.
civilization started in Brooklyn,
Exactly.
side of the island.
That's right. My wife was born in Brooklyn, so
See
hey,
that? See that? Okay.
there
Hey,
you
we
go.
don't have much time. Bob retires in 5 days, so
Okay, let's go.
Right.
Let's
So
go.
Oh, he'll be
that's
back.
right.
He'll be back.
Exactly. So
Well,
hey,
I'd really like to take a minute and thank you. I've really enjoyed all our time together, and I've always looked up to you. You've been there to help me out through thick and thin, and encourage me and get me where I am today. And thank you very much, Bob. And I wish you the best. I can't wait to get up your way. Actually, Stacy and I will be at Mount Hood on my birthday, so
Oh wow,
we'll be scoping it out. So we
cool,
might be
very
up
cool.
there.
Well, you're very welcome. I met Mike. He was a youngster when I met him. Holy cow! What was that? The seminar in Sacramento, or was it Tahoe?
It was Tahoe, yeah.
Tahoe. Holy cow!
Way back
Yeah,
when.
Mike was trying to figure his way through this maze of shop ownership, and look at him now. What, 3 stores?
Yes.
3
And that's enough.
stores.
That's
Beautiful.
plenty.
That's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks for that, Mike. I really appreciate that. I thought I'd throw it over to Mark and Lucia Bag. If you guys, Mark and Lucia, you guys want to chime in?
Can
Are
you
you
hear
guys-
us?
Sure we do. Hi, Bob.
Hey, Lucia.
I love you very much. You know
Oh, I
that.
love you too, dear.
Hi. And Mike said the words that I would say. So I'm so thankful for everything that you have done for us. And we are here, New Canaan Foreign Car, Mark and Lucia Bag are here because you and Mike Lee. So thank you guys, and thank you very, very much. I love you.
And
I
we
love
met
you too.
Bob in the seminar in 1998 in Albany.
Oh, the
And,
Albany seminar.
And we struggled for,
Yeah.
so we struggled for a long time. So by the time we finally achieved master level, Bob was like, okay, Mark, it certainly took you long enough. And he said, you really have a high level of tolerance for pain. I'll never forget that. And Bob, I want to thank you so much for everything. I want to thank you for being in all my classes. You helped me out so much. When I saw that you would first popped into my classes, I'm like, oh, this is great. Bob's in with me. And I want to thank you for all the wisdom that you bring to those classes. And I'm truly going to miss it. So thank you, Bob.
Well,
Yeah,
you're very
and-
welcome. Thank you.
And for anyone who's listening, Mark is one of our instructors here at Drive. He is obviously a shop owner, a successful shop owner, part of the program, but he also is one of our instructors, and that's what he's referring to. So when you do workshops with Drive, Bob also will occasionally pop in to see how he audits the classes, and I know that it's wonderful to watch those workshops when Mark is instructing and Bob is in there, because they have such a great rapport and they do such a great job and does such a great service for our clients. But so that's what that's all
Best
about.
tips ever, the best. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you for
That's all.
clarifying.
Yep, part of that old 90s crew.
Thank you, Bob.
Good luck, Bob.
Well,
Very
thank
good.
you guys.
Thanks. So why don't we shoot it over to David Goldsmith?
Hey, Bob. Well,
Hey, David.
yeah, it's been a long, man, I've known you for so long, and just like everyone else, I mean, I have just a huge amount of respect for you, and I have a lot of debt of gratitude. I think something, Bob, that you've always inspired me with is your enthusiasm and your positivity.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and I've been through, we've all us shop owners go through the ups and downs, and it was always you're kind of like a steady rock there, Bob.
Yeah.
And I'd meet you out in Glendale, or I'd run into you at some expo or something like that, and whatever I'm going through, that you kind of inspire just a positive attitude that keeps us going. And I really I want you to know that you hit home with me, that's for sure. I also appreciate the fact that, first time I went out there to Glendale, I'm going, man, is there anybody from the East Coast out here? Jesus, what's going on? Man, I mean, I didn't know about Dave Bloom. I'm going, God, there are all these Californians, and I don't know. And then I met Bob, and I said, oh, this is good. This is good. I'm home.
He
Thank you, Bob.
only tells the people from New York that he's from New York, though.
Oh,
He's kind of a
no,
thug, you know?
that's not true. That's not true.
No.
Just saying,
So-
Bob. I see you around the California people, and you play a part with them.
Well, yeah.
So
No,
I
it
need to
shows.
ask. Oh, sorry. Go on, David. Go on,
No, I was
David.
just gonna say, come on, Dave. That East Coast shows in Bob. You can't hide it. I mean, you can kind of pull the wool over some California guys, but for my East Coast guys,
There it is.
you know.
Well, you know the old saying, you can take the boy out of New York, you can't take New York out of the boy. It's just there.
That's it. That's it.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks again, Bob.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, we certainly have a few shops from California on this call. So why don't we go to Wade? Because Wade, I want to ask you, I want to hear what you have to say, of course, but I want to ask also, did you kind of know that Bob was from New York when you first met him?
I still didn't know until today.
All about.
getting an education here today.
There it is.
Wait,
Yeah.
I bet
Hey,
you
wait,
I
wait,
bet
you
you
didn't-
the bird knew. The bird knew. The bird
He
knew.
didn't introduce the bird.
He's listening.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
is.
I see him.
With intention.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, Bob, we go back a long way.
Yeah, we
And,
do.
And
We do.
I-
Yeah, you were
I
one of
was-
those. You were one of those guys who came to the seminar and then said, "Well, I guess I'll think about it." And it took you years to sign up for the program.
Yeah,
Then he
that's
continued to
me.
send about 50 service riders through the classes.
Yes, he holds the all-time record of number of service writer schools sold. Yeah, yeah. Nicole, whenever Nicole's sales were down, she goes, "Oh, I can call Wade. I'll sell him a service writer."
I got a question for you. How did the roast swing to me? We're roasting you.
Everybody's fair game, Wade.
Everybody's
fair game.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know the rules.
Yeah.
Bob,
I'm
didn't you
I-
retire? I thought you retired before. Didn't you retire before?
Well, no, not really. I mean, there were rumors that I was retiring, and then we had to say no, and that's when I moved up to Oregon. Everybody thought I was retiring. No. I'm just working remotely. And I'll tell you a little story. I had a long talk with Bill Kilpatrick, and he hated the idea of me moving up here, and he just I said, no, we'll make it work. It'll make it work. And that was the fall of 19, and then spring of 20. Everybody was remote.
Crazy.
So,
Wow.
Absolutely.
I had to jump on it.
So you're the cause for that?
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
All right.
And I've been working from home since COVID, and if he's the cause, I'm buying him a cake. I love working from
Bob,
home.
being from New York, there's a saying in California:
What's that?
they all come back.
They all come back.
We're gonna
I had a
have a
devil of-
welcome back party for you.
When I first moved to LA in '76, I had a devil of time trying to find anybody from LA.
Oh,
There was
absolutely.
nobody. I knew more New
Absolutely.
Yorkers
Nobody's
in
from
California
LA.
than I did Californians.
Yes, native Californians are definitely on the endangered species list.
Well, there's more of you guys now.
that.
But anyway, thank you so much, Wade.
Native of
Uh,
New Yorkers.
Yeah, why don't we go to Debbie and Dave?
The one good thing, Bob, is at least you got smart and you come to the Pacific Northwest.
There you go.
Absolutely.
You
I
know?
love it. I love it.
You betcha.
Yeah, and finally I'll be able to come to your customer appreciation day. You keep inviting me, and I'm always in the middle of doing something that Tony or Carolyn or somebody's making me do. But that's over.
Well, you should have
That's
said
right.
something. I'd have handled that part for you.
Oh,
Oh, if she'd have called me, if you were doing something for me, we'd have worked it out. Trust me. If she called me and said, "Nope, he can't do that for you. He's coming to my thing," I'd be like,
That's right.
"Okay."
yeah. When
Okay.
is it this year?
Let's see.
It's in July.
It's in July. Yeah,
All
July
right, well,
25th.
July
July
25th.
25th.
Okay,
It's
let me
close.
let me write that down.
And how
Okay.
far is it? How far is it?
It's about
Oh,
30.
she's about an hour and a half away from me.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna ride your bike
Oh.
up there?
Absolutely.
Don't be putting the fake pictures up, Kevin.
And
You know,
Bob,
you had to put the fake picture
I
up.
remember at the seminar that we went to that I finally got Dave to go to. And I said, just promise me one thing. You'll listen. Go with open ears, you know?
Did you have to hold a gun to him or what?
It was pretty close, yes.
I mean, taking a weekend off was like, major miracle. And so when we went, and then he said at the break, he said, that guy's talking about me. He's talking about me. He's been spying.
That's a beautiful.
And you
What
used
was
to
that?
say, you can't, women, you cannot, wives, you cannot elbow. No
Right.
elbow time.
No elbowing.
I had to hold my arm an awful lot. So, but yeah, it was the best thing we've ever done. We want to thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's been just a pleasure knowing you guys, and like I said, you're an hour and a half north of me, and I'll be freed up from the slave drivers that drive, and
We'll hold you to it. It's from 11:30 to 2.
all right,
11:30 to 2, I think. So
okay.
we'll have
I
some
got
good
it.
food and fun.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
I want your salmon dip.
Salmon dip. Oh.
Salmon dip ice cream?
But not at the same
Ah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at the same
Well, it
time.
is cold up there, Dave, you know?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay. Thank you guys for that. Let's shoot over to Adam Jadovitz. Adam, you with us?
I am
we might have-
here.
There he is. There he is.
Hi,
Very
Bob.
nice.
Hey,
Very
Adam,
good
good to see you.
Good to see you. We met a very, very long time ago. I went and saw Mike Lee in '94, and I had to go home and think about it. And I thought about it for a few years, and then I went back again, and you were the one presenting, and I thought, oh shoot, they don't have the good guy here today. What the hell?
I want my money back.
Yeah. So you impressed me so much that I signed up that day, and I never looked back. I'm so happy that I got to see you and meet you, and that I signed up, and you've been such a big, huge help in my entire life, not just the shop, but in my life. Every piece of advice you've ever given me has always been spot on, and I love you. I'm gonna miss you. And I wish you nothing but good luck with your new game.
Well, thank you, Adam. Are you calling from Mexico, or are you in Lake Elsinore?
No, I'm at work today.
Yeah.
You're in recession.
And for everybody, Lake Elsinore is in Cali. What was that, Lucia? I think we're getting a little bit of a breakup on your network. What was that you were saying, Lucia?
Oh, no, I was just playing with Adam. So, oh, we are in recession. Adam is working Friday.
Working on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is one of the indicators of a downturning economy, is that Adam has to work on Friday. all of the people look for that. Very good. Okay, very good. Now I was thinking we got a couple of there's some things we have planned also, not just the actual little synopsises. So what I thought I might do, if you're okay with it, Bob, is I thought I might just do the commercial break right now, and then we get right back into it.
Sure.
Do you mind if I do that?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Station
Okay.
break.
Station break. So everybody remember that we have an expo coming up in September 18th, 19th, and 20th in Vegas. And we would love to see you there. It's one of the biggest events we have every year. And I've never known anybody to go to that event that didn't totally enjoy it. So make sure you make that. And then we also have next Friday, we're going to have a great show with Brandon and Rihanna Tupa of Brandon's Auto Service of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And of course, that's same bat channel and same bat time, 12:30 Pacific on the Drive Facebook page. And those are the commercials. So now we're coming back. Now, before I get into the rest of our folks, is there anything, Bob, that you were thinking that you wanted to say during the first part of this show that you think that these people need to hear?
Well, I was hoping that Eddie Lawrence would be here so that we could have the original Awesome Four, and that's Dave Bloom, Dave Saline, Eddie Lawrence, and myself. We went to the Napa Expo 10 years ago and put on a show for them that they'll never forget. And I had to, and Dave asked me, he goes, well, how many people do you think there'll be in the audience? I said, I don't know, 500, 600, maybe 700. And he just about swallowed his tongue.
It was a very interesting night, because that first night there, I will have to tell on Dave Bloom on this one. He had pages of notes, and he says, I studied, I fell asleep in the middle of my bed with these notes around me. And we showed up to do the presentation the next day, and he goes, I can't remember anything off of any of those sheets.
I'm not exaggerating. I had the 2 beds in my room. One bed was covered in yellow pants. I was totally scared shitless out of my mind. We'll talk about it. We'll talk once.
But then that was the same thing, Bob. That remembers a piece of advice you told us all on that in there when we stood up on that stage in front of these, I don't know, 800 people, and you says, "Don't worry about it. They don't know what you're going to say, and even if it's wrong, they don't know the difference."
All in the presentation.
It's so good.
But I had to make a disclaimer to the audience that, look, I am not responsible for what comes out of these guys' mouths, right? Don't hold me responsible for
Okay,
this.
so can I make a synopsis here? So he tells you guys, look, don't worry about what you say. It'll all be fine. And then you walk on stage and he says, I am not taking responsibility for anything these people have to say.
Yeah, it's total
Speaking of that,
California.
Dave, speaking about that, since I have Dave, we don't have Eddie on here today to help share this story, but there's a little bit of a confession that's been weighing on us, knowing something about that show that haven't really told you over the years.
Oh, this is going to be great.
So now you remember the first day we got there, we set up the booth and everything, and then groups of us kind of disappeared into the Vegas Strip to go eat lunch and everything. And I believe you and Athena and a few others landed down the strip about 3 or 4 hotels. Well, later that night, you were talking to us and you're like, we sat down at this little offbeat restaurant in one of the hotel casinos and everything. And he goes, I'm just so impressed because Napa bought our lunch and I didn't even know they knew where we were at and where we were at. And you're just excited about this. Now, Dave, do you want to tell him the truth on that?
Yeah, I bought lunch. And we were just messing with you because you're like, you said, well, let me chip in for lunch. I go, no, the guy from Napa paid for it. And you're like, how did they know what restaurant we were in? So yeah, this is David and I's little secret for a couple of 10 years or whatever. But we were waiting for the right moment. We were going to tell you. We were going to tell you.
Right about the time you were retiring. Like
today.
When he's ready to retire, we'll let him know the story.
It was the day that I actually married the blackjack dealer because of David Sailey. That's a story for my retirement.
Okay.
Very nice. Yeah. Okay, very nice. Now, Dave, as long as we have you, was there anything else you wanted to add or to talk up our good friend Bob?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, he owes him for lunch.
All right, so let's start from the beginning, okay? I'm sitting at my desk one night. I get a phone call from some guy from California who wants to sell me some seminar thing, okay? I have piles of papers all over my desk. I just got finished working in the shop. I'm exhausted, tired. I don't want to do any of this shit. And this guy says, listen, we have this seminar coming up in Boston, and we could teach you how to run your shop properly, and you shouldn't be there doing paperwork right now. And I said, all right, I'm coming. So then he goes, well, wait a second. He goes, that's Boston. He said, we have one right near your house in 3 weeks. I said, no, I'll go to Boston, man. I need this now. I need this right now. So I went up there and Bob Spitz is doing his thing. And my wife, Cindy, who doesn't even know where my shop is, which is perfect. Don't tell her. So we drive 5 hours up to Boston and we go into the seminar room, whatever. And Bob Spitz starts out with, so you're working 70 hours a week and you have no money. You know, and it's like Debbie Jenner-John, the elbows are flying all over the place, right? The elbows are flying and I get an elbow. Okay. And Cindy looks at me and goes, you played freaking golf yesterday and you have money. I was like, all right, but you don't understand. I need this. And the truth is that you changed my life that day. Okay. And you changed the lives of many, many people, not just the people that work for me at Pioneer, whose lives are tremendously better because of the way we run the company, but the companies that we work with, the standards that we talked about through the years, everything, man. I'm getting a little choked up here right now. Seriously, you're an amazing person. And that phone call changed not just my life, but a lot of people's lives. It's pretty bizarre when you think about that.
Oh, but God. Thank you, Dave.
Let's talk about Vegas, though, you swindler. So Bob calls one day and he says, listen, he said, there's a Napa convention in Vegas and they invited us to do a seminar on how to market your truck repair shop. I was like, oh, this sounds like fun, you know? So we started having a series of phone calls and Zoom. We didn't have Zoom yet. You know, it was I don't know, however we did it with slide presentations. And we're going to be on stage for 75 minutes. 75 minutes is a long time, okay? 75 minutes. I'm picturing a room like the seminar, 20 people, a couple of shop owners, no big deal. So we're pretty well prepared. We fly out to Vegas. It was massive. The Napa convention, I've never seen anything like this. We get off the plane, people are there with signs, Napa convention, putting us on buses, moving us around. We go and then we get there. Now I'm still thinking I'm talking in front of 25 people, you know, and I'm scared. I'm really scared. Okay. So talking in front of 25 people, we get there and they go, we got to go downstairs and do a sound check. I said, sound check? Like, I don't even need a microphone. 25 people, I'm just me. You know, and then we go to this room and the guys in the back of the room with sliding the things around and we're mic'd up and said, says, yeah, we're expecting 600 to 800 people here. and sleep tight. I went back to my room. We were over prepared. We had the most, I've never, ever had so much fun in my whole life as on that stage that day. The Napa people were scared shitless.
I think Bob was scared too.
Right? Bob's statement was 100% on the money. I'm not totally responsible for what these guys did. Remember that Napa, the first people that came in the room?
Yeah, the first group of people came into the room and they go to sit in the front row right next to the stage. And Dave goes, no, those are reserved. You can't sit there. So they get up and start moving. He goes, no, I'm just kidding.
And the Napa people was visibly upset. But Bob, seriously, man, thank you from all my heart and from everybody that you've affected around me.
Well, you're very welcome. Now, I got a question for you. Did you actually drive up to Green Lawn or was that some kind of Photoshop thing?
It took me like 55 freaking minutes to get there. Okay?
And he had to film it several times.
There was no place for me to park my car. I pulled up on a sidewalk. I had my car. I had to jump a curb. I'm on a sidewalk, right? And what I wanted to do was get somebody to yell, hey, buddy, get out of the lawn or whatever and make it more New York-like. But everybody was upset that I was even there and parked like that and stuff. So, yeah, it wasn't easy, but it was so worth it. And I had to do it for you.
Well, thank you very much. That was great.
If you haven't seen the video, you can check it out on the Drive page. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Bob. You wanted to add something?
That's okay. No, I just didn't even know there was a sign like that for my old town.
I had it made. What are you talking about?
Oh, that is so good.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Let's go to Kevin.
Dude, I've been sitting here for so long biting my tongue.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Hard on him.
So if anybody needs to get up for intermission, you go right ahead. I found an old picture of Bob when he first moved to California in the 70s. He's with his buddy. Yeah. I know times were tough at first. You know, people had to do what they had to do, and then he came across this guy that was promoting sales of shop ownership, and I think things worked out pretty good for him. The reality is I didn't realize how much you and I look the same at a younger age. I mean, we could be brothers. I mean, you're the more positive brother. Then you got me.
See, I love how, Kevin, you don't think you guys could pass for brothers now.
We could. Well, he's got more hair.
Yeah, I still have hair.
That's right.
Well, he's a shop owner. He pulled all his hair out.
So
that's right.
I totally get it. 17 years I've been with Drive. And honestly, before we started here, I'm like, what has Bob done? And what has Bob not done? Because the amount of things that your hands were in everything that I remember. And I was trying to reflect so Eric and I went up to Albany for a meeting. I already knew about management success. I mean, there's a whole nother story about that. And I wanted to convince or have Eric exposed to it and see, this is a good thing for us. And I don't know if you were there. And Tony says you'll remember.
Bob will remember.
It was 2008.
Oh yeah.
2007.
I was there.
But Peyton Knight was there. And I gotta
Peyton
say,
used to tag with me all the time.
I don't remember any of your speech because all I was doing was looking over at Eric and he's soaking it all in. And you must be pretty convincing because by noon we bought the program the first day, and and it really has changed our lives. And too bad Dave Bloom talked in front of me because he kind of stole my thunder there. But I wanted to say the same thing.
I didn't know you had thunder.
You know, it's not making me sad. The achievements, like, yeah, it's not just my personal, achievements with management success and drive, and my employees and the people, in our community and my customers and my parts suppliers and my, other people that I learned a newer, knowledge of communication and all of this that you've had your hands in over the years. I definitely want to thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I also want, Dave Primary Bloom to take note those 3 trophies behind us, that we've achieved over time. And those 2 books, one of is the
But
first
you get
workshop.
those from Ellen's Children's Karate School?
I just got them ordered. They just delivered them today. It's Master Elite and Sustained Master Elite. I would thank you for your
I'll
help
talk
with
about
that.
sustain you in a minute.
And then I cleaned the couch because I figured you'd be hanging out behind me. But you like my shelf, that 2x4 I put up today so I could display this stuff.
Just so he could display those trophies.
Pretty much for David Bloom. And then you got the first book there, that was the workshops 1 through 4. And then now the Overdrive. So and you've been, all along with it. And I gotta say, I appreciate, and I'm sure many other people do, everything that you've done for us, man. And I'm the same guy, man. Who wants to fly out to California? It's a real pain in the ass. I mean, these people out there don't even realize it's not like they're flying to New York. They're flying, we're flying there. And there's nothing but weirdos out in California. And we don't want to go out there, right? And then it got to the point where I really liked going to, I really like going there. And then we moved to Monrovia, and then, then it all hit the fan and it's all over. So I really do miss it. I had my little place I'd get my sandwich at on the way back to, to the Bob Hope airport to fly back into JFK. But the fact that you were from out here and we met, it definitely gave me a lot more comfort, and a lot more affinity for everything you guys do. But I just wanted to wish you the best in the future. And I shit you not, if you are out this way and you got to come, well, I don't care if you come to Brooklyn, to Long Island, or here to Connecticut, but
New Canaan.
I think or New Canaan. I really think that we should get together. And if you are out this way,
well, let's make that happen. I'm going to come to the island probably in September.
Okay, yeah, probably, during a drive convention. That's awesome. Thank you.
No.
Or don't make it September 10th because I got to get out of that. That's my 30th wedding anniversary. So, I mean, you know what? I've been together with her for a long time, so we can make it happen.
I'm sending the recording, Kevin. I'm sending it to your wife.
Well, I'll definitely give you guys a call, you and Dave, and when I get to Long Island, and absolutely, and Mark, and we'll get together. Absolutely.
Would love it.
And also, I think you should still stick around every once in a while and do, a special guest appearance or something.
I agree with that.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
That's a solid no.
This is very enthusiastic, Kevin.
I got a lot of confidence in that answer.
But I would love to have him do a guest spot on a workshop. We'll let him do what about one a year? We'll let him do a really good control in the front, or maybe an essentials. What do you think about that, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Bob, I'll hire you I'll double your pay. Okay. I'll double your pay for whatever you do in a drive.
Oh
and
man,
you can
they're
minister
bribing
any
you already.
course for me anytime that you want. Okay.
Okay.
You double his pay for what he
Okay.
made it drive, he would still not be able to afford to live in New Canaan, Connecticut.
I know. I'm thinking, nobody's got a clue how much that. Yeah.
New Canaan. Good God.
Let's talk 5 multiple.
And you're gonna have a rights to have a Brazilian vacation too.
And a wax.
So,
And a Brazilian wax.
And a Brazilian
that's
wax.
it. That's my offer. That's my offer, Bob.
We'll meet you.
Yeah, she's gonna bring you to the farm. You got to go to the farm, Bob.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Lucia.
right on.
That's
Okay,
great.
so now it's time to go to one of my favorite people. I love all you guys, but Deanna Cole is one of my favorite people in the world. Deanna's been waiting. Deanna, you got anything to say to Bob?
Oh boy. Where to begin? First and foremost, though, but Kevin and everyone on the call, said it, Bob, and thank you for changing our lives. And I'm going to choke up now. I'll be fine. Just a minute. So I remember the first time I met Bob, I was at a Controlling the Front class in Burbank, and he was across the room, and I was, we were taking a break, and he was introducing himself around the room. So he walked up to me, he says, "Hi, Bob Spitz, VP." I said, "Deanna Cole, Bankley, Mississippi." Never met anyone from Mississippi. I said, "Well, now you have." So that's how we met. And I think I became a fascination for him because he never met anybody from Mississippi, but there we go. But through the years, it's been a long 25 years that I've known Bob, and really, really a friend. And I think all of you understand what I mean when I say that Bob is actually a true friend to all of us. And so my story, my Bob story, that's special to me. I went through Hurricane Katrina, and we lost everything, which is fine. We got it all back. But oddly enough, I never cried. I mean, the whole time through all the process, I just, it's just, you just grab a root and growl. You just do what you have to do to survive and keep going. So several months, I think it was the following summer, we were in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I was there, and I was kind of quiet, and, so we were talking. And so we had a break, and Bob walked up to me and he asked me, he says, "How are you?" And it was different. It was a real, "How are you?" And I just looked at him, and he says, "Come on." So we went out, we walked around the building, and I bawled. I got it all off my chest. And I just realized that, true friends ask you real questions. How are you? And they mean it. And Bob, that's just one of the precious moments that I have with you. So thank
That's
you.
great, Dee.
Thank you for everything you've done. And
Oh, you're very welcome. And thank you. There was a time in my career, Dee, that I think I saw more of you and Wes than I did of Toby.
Absolutely. We were the tag team queen and king.
You were.
We were ready to go tag anywhere. So, but that's, and there's many more, but that's the two that just really always step out to me. But and Tony, I don't know when you're ready, but I would like to do a toast to Bob whenever you're ready. You're the host, so you let me know. But I have
Why don't we do it at the very end? I got one more person I want to go to, and then I'll come back to you, Deanna.
Sounds great.
I want to go to our good friend David Saline. Again, I talked a little bit about him at the top, but I want to just let everybody know. David was someone who came on the program, had a lot of success, and got himself into a true stage 4, and eventually made it to stage 5. And he had a lot of free time on his hands, and he did something that a lot of clients do here. Many of these people have done this type of thing. He came to Drive to help other shop owners and people in the industry, and that we call stage 6. And most of you guys on this call are in a stage 6. But he came to work full time at Drive, and he is the VP of Sales and Services. And he wanted to come into this meeting because he wanted to represent a lot of people at Drive and speak to Bob on behalf of the Drive group. And over to you, David.
All right. Thank you, Tony and Bob. Just to start off with everybody here, I've got the pleasure to seeing Bob on all levels of this. Like a lot of you here on this call and a lot of people that are out there listening, Bob was in front of me speaking, teaching, doing a class. I'm soaking up the knowledge and all of his wisdom through that time. And then I got to a point, and I'm going to tell a little funny story right now about Bob because I'm sure he'll remember this. But when back in, I think, 2011, 12, we're going for masters at my shop. And, Bob and Larry had a tradition where they would call people up on the phone in front of the group of consultants in a room. And by then there was no videos or anything else. And they would kind of pull your chain a little bit. Well, I don't know. We found this wrong with your submission. We don't know if you can make it. And then surprise, you're a master. So they pulled my chain. So about a year later, we're going for Master Elite. And I says, okay, I ain't gonna do this. So I got with my consultant at the time, and we made a surprise visit to California without anybody in the office knowing it. And then we set it up that we walked in the door and, hey, Dave and Lynetta are very upset. They're not happy with how things are going. They came into town to discuss it and everything else. Please get all the executives and get everybody important at Drive into the conference room right now. So Bob and them are sitting in there, and we break out a PowerPoint presentation going through all the stuff that you need to prove that you're masters, and tell Bob now, if you see anything wrong with it, can you please tell us right now? And Bill Kilpatrick's sitting in the room and everything else. And Bob's like, no, I don't see anything wrong with it, but we still got to check your submission. And I was like, well, what's wrong with it? If you want any questions, now's the time. You ain't going to come back and say, hey, we found a problem with your submission. So we're here now. So let's get it taken care of. So, but the look on their face that morning in the office when they were trying to get everybody together into the conference room and why are they here? Are they upset with us? What's going on? Was priceless. So I'm sure you remember that, Bob.
I do. And I used to keep this on my desk, and I don't know if you can read it, but I used to keep this on my desk, and this is Ashes of Problem Clients.
You're going to need a bigger jar.
You're going to need a bigger jar. Exactly.
But back to the seriousness of this and everything. Bob, thank you for everything. I mean, you've trained me through stuff with my shop and everything. I come be a part of Drive. You were a mentor through Drive, and it's been great. And all I can say is the number of people's lives you've touched over the years, the improvements you've made to the industry, the improvements and everything that you've done in Drive and all the curriculum and stuff that you put together in Drive, your legacy is going to live for a long, long time within Drive. It's going to be there forever. And you've touched people's lives over the years, past clients, current clients, and you're going to be touching people's lives that are future clients of Drive. And we want to, just from the Drive staff and everybody out there, shop owners and everybody that works for the shop owners, I just want to thank you for all the years and wish you the best in your retirement. May you have great adventures, find a lot of happiness and joy. And of course, when you get bored, you're more welcome to come back and do anything that you want at Drive.
Okay. Well, thank you, David. It's been a real honor having you part of the team. There was a time when Dave and Lynetta were going for masters. They were at the office so much, I thought they had already joined staff. I said, what are you guys doing here again?
Yep. Very good.
That was great.
Okay, Deanna, over to you.
Well, I made the mistake of telling Carolyn, I said, Carolyn, somebody needs to do a toast for Bob. So she sent an email out and said, Deanna said she'd do a toast for Bob. So I wrote it down. So
that'll teach you for speaking up.
Yeah, So if you have a Dixie cup or a coffee cup or a just pencil jar,
there we go.
Raise your cup to Bob.
Thank you, Dee.
To our dear co-worker and friend, Bob, who's been an integral part of this team for so many years. Your hard work, dedication, and positive attitude has inspired us all. We will miss your presence in the office and in the Zoom meetings, but we know that you're off to new adventures and well and richly deserved relaxation. Thank you for being a role model, a friend. Thank you for the stories. Thank you for the wisdom you share so effortlessly. And mighty cheers to you from a multitude of people that you have touched in so many ways. Wishing you a very long and happy retirement.
Oh gosh, thank you, Dee. Thank
Cheers.
you, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You're the best.
Look, Bob.
All righty. That was a lot of fun, guys. Back over
Yeah.
to you, Bob, because we want to make sure you've been such a great host of this show for so many years. And I want you to do your final host duties for the show, my friend.
Well, my final host duties, it's been a pleasure and it's been an honor. And I want to thank everybody for joining me today and all those who might be listening in. I wish you, as Mike Lee always said, I wish you nothing but success. And I look forward to, in the future, seeing you when possible, definitely in New York. And
right.
yeah.
We'll eat pastrami.
You'll actually get to eat some decent food.
Yeah, there you go.
Except for the
Alright.
salmon. If you've never had Dave's salmon dip, and you just
Don't have the salmon ice cream.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. Sounds like peanut butter jelly wings. I mean, come on.
So from all of us here at Drive Facebook Live, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the other side.